Well, Reddit is one of the high-profile internet companies going dark in protest. Joining us on the phone to explain why is the co-founder Alexis Ohanian, and CNBC's John Ford is joining us in the conversation as well. Alexis, let me start with you. One, if there is a delay in this bill, will you still go dark tomorrow? And two, we've heard some of the concerns from internet companies about this bill. What is your number one problem with the proposed legislation?
All right. Well, thank you for having me. First and foremost, we're definitely very interested in raising awareness about PIPA, which is the Senate bill. In fact, 1,000 New York minorities have registered. I'm going to be one of the speakers tomorrow to appear at our senator's offices to let them know that we will not stand idly by as they let lobbying dollars dictate policy instead of what's doing best, not just for large companies like Google, but for all of us internet users, and for the next Google. Just be a couple of college students getting started in a garage or in General Assembly here in New York.
All right, John Ford is with us. John, we just got off the phone with the MPAA and got a statement from them and to get their side of this particular controversy. Let's take a look at what they gave us in just a few seconds. They say, we welcome the administration's clear statement that legislation is needed to stop foreign-based thieves from stealing the hard work and creativity of millions of American workers. John, handicap how you think this is all going to play out for us.
Well, this is really a part of the battle royal between Hollywood and Silicon Valley. And the important thing to understand about this legislation, about SOPA, is that it really shifts the legal tools that are available. In the past, under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, the burden was more on the copyright holders, on Hollywood, to prove that stuff that was posted on YouTube or elsewhere that was linked to was offending. Now, under these rules, it would fall on the site itself to police that content. And what venture capitalists here in Silicon Valley are saying is, hey, that legal burden is just too high. It would kill things like Twitter, like an early YouTube that are just getting started, if now the sites have to worry about this and not just the users who are posting that content. This is especially important because the balance of power had been shifting anyway. Back in the music era with iTunes, Silicon Valley, Apple had more of the upper hand here, kind of pushing content owners into the digital era. Lately, we've seen that video providers have had a little bit more hand. I mean, notice you don't see everything on iTunes now, video-wise. This would give Hollywood even more tools, Sue.
Mr. Ohanian, let me come back to you, and I apologize for your cell signal, which is sort of iffy today, but I assume you would agree that the people who create content ought to be protected. Do you agree with that in principle?
Absolutely. I'm working on a book, and I'm also a publisher, so I'm very interested in protecting copyright.
And so how would you
believe that the private sector?
How would you thread the needle? How would you thread the needle here and protect the legitimate copyright holders from people, whether they're in the U.S. or overseas, who would abuse that?
We've already seen companies do a brilliant job of providing a superior user service. Things like Netflix succeed because they're offering a better service to consumers. And I just happen to believe that the private sector can do a better job innovating. As an entrepreneur, as an investor, I see piracy as a great opportunity. It is a business opportunity for savvy entrepreneurs to offer a better service and make a lot of money in the process. And I can't understand why Congress can't seem to agree on anything that really matters in this country, whether employment or the deficit, they're totally deadlocked. But when Hollywood pays lobbyists $94 million last year to get a bill that they wrote passed, both Republicans and Democrats line up to co-sponsor it. And really the great success that's come out of it has been the realization from not just internet companies, but Americans at large, that they're not serving the best interests of us, the citizens. They're serving the interests of lobbyists.
Mr. Ohanian, thank you very much for joining us. John, thank you as well. Why is it when you're talking about technology, the technology doesn't help you,
You need to go to
right?
the top of the building there and stand up on the top.
So.
Get some tinfoil wrapped around his phone.